Investigation in Broward County started after a local resident, a computer technician, told us that he was on his way home from a political event, and he stopped at a police checkpoint to complain about checkpoints in his neighborhood. The man told us that he was taken from his car and he was physically assaulted, and then he was taken into custody and attacked again. We looked into his allegations and we believed him. The deputy involved had a very long history of problems, and we tried to report those problems. When we were unsuccessful, we started focusing our attention increasingly on Broward Sheriff's Department. You're watching video of our volunteer tester who's being arrested for photographing a police officer. He was kept in custody for 5 hours. We got the video because we had a second investigator inside the BSO substation who was filling out a job application during the arrest. So he got most of the encounter on tape. The tester had activated a cell phone before entering the station and was in communication with our office. So we heard Hernandez threaten him more than once, and more particularly we heard him make the threats that were identical to that of our client who had complained that Hernandez had an anger management issue. After we got out of there with the tester, he was released to us some 5 hours later. We were placed under surveillance by several Broward County undercover units. We know this because they later wrote us a letter complaining about the treatment we extended to them during the surveillance. The photograph you're looking at now was taken just as we threw our car into reverse and made it a little more difficult for the surveillance to continue. The video you're watching now is unedited, and it's never before been released. Portions of it have, of course, on CBS News, who were our partners in this investigation. They rented a brand new Mustang that our driver is driving. Our driver's a young African-American male, and he's been trained for precisely what's about to happen. The car you see pulling away from the curb to the right is a Broward Sheriff's unit. Our driver has just passed the police officer, and he's now getting in behind us. You could see a posted speed limit of 45 miles an hour. At this point we are doing about 40 miles an hour, and no one is passing us or behind us. We're all kind of traveling together, so we're obviously doing the same speed as other drivers on the road. Now at this point we think the deputy is running the plate, but you're going to notice his brakes a couple times. He's literally right on top of our bumper and is less than 5-6 feet maybe behind us.
He pulled up behind me. We were driving for a little bit. He pulled up bumper to bumper on me, put his light right in my mirror. I guess he was looking at me, scoping me out.
That's not recommended safe driving by any standard, but he at this point, in our opinion, is making an effort to perhaps put a bit of pressure on our driver to see if something might happen by way of a mistake, and then he would have a reason for making a traffic stop. Our driver continues at the same speed. He's trained for this situation, so he's not going to give any ground, and he's going to just follow the traffic laws. I'm going to adjust the camera in a moment because we're anticipating the stop will go down any moment. Now this aspect of our investigation does not prove or disprove Mr. Allen's complaint. That's the gentleman who reported the original complaints to us. But it did tell us something was wrong, and that's what got us to Broward County. As you'll see in a moment, this officer is going to make the traffic stop. We have other units on the way from the opposite direction, and at the point that he makes the stop, there'll be about 8 cameras on him. We have another reporter in the back of the car with us now. We're about to let that journalist out, and he and a cameraman will be approaching the officer through a field that's to the right. The officer told us he did not have a reason for making the stop.
And so happened, just like I figured, he would pull me over. When he came to the car, he asked me basically, where's your license registration? I asked him, why did he pull me over? He didn't respond. And then so he asked me once again, where's your license and registration for the car? And so I gave it to him. I asked him, could I go in my pocket? So I gave it to him. And then he went to his car, and I sat out there like 10 minutes waiting on him to come back. And then when he got back, he basically asked me again. I asked him again, why did he pull me over? And he stated, well, you're veering in and out.
We had observed no veering whatsoever. The only noticeable veering we saw was the police car sliding to the right, over the line.
And I was like, am I in trouble for veering in and out lane? He was like, no, you can go, and that's it, you can go.
What do you think of what happened?
Well, personally, I felt I was racial profiled, a black guy in a Mustang convertible riding down Oakland Park. Hey,